Only a little bit more to go, hopefully, and then maybe we'll bring this all crashing down on Mr. Damon Gaunt. Maybe. I don't know. But first we need to, I guess cross-examine Lana Skye. Hopefully she'll say something. How do we convince her, though? Anyway. Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gaunt. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gaunt. I worked alongside Gaunt for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Okay, I was wondering, how did he get stabbed in the back and somehow fall on him? Okay, I guess that's what Lana did, maybe? My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. Had nothing to do with Emma. I don't know about that. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana... If this is true, then that means Chief Gaunt has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, it's no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gaunt and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gaunt was a respectable detective, that's why. No truth? But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And... fabricated evidence. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So that's why you fabricated evidence 2 years ago. I found a rearranged crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. Okay. What? Yeah, but we thought he was the armor guy, right? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. I guess, yeah, maybe she's lying about that, I don't know. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor, a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. Yeah, initially, we thought it was the switchblade knife that was the murder weapon, then we proved it was the sword from the trophy, so she's mixing up her facts now. All just to protect me. So when you found a scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. Okay. You planted the tip of Drake's knife in the victim's wound, then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why you plant the knife? But why'd you do that? Come on, now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Guy fabricated the knife. Okay, it's an ever-evolving testimony. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be with having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes. Because I hated Dark for what he did. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. Had nothing to do with Emma. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like a murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk a death sentence? She's lying. She did so, I would be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. Gotta get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, she's bound to slip up. Okay. Okay, I want to ask as well. Okay, we pressed this before. We have two options. There was another option I want to ask. Why did you move the body? Well, when you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gaunt's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, the wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Drake committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. What exactly do I... I'm not sure, because we have two sentences that... Well, actually, like three actually in total, that came out of pressing her, but I'm not sure if it's... relevant. There's an plan inside the moon, then move the body. Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. All by myself. What exactly is the contradiction? Had nothing to do with Emma. Because I feel like, then why is it here in this unstable jar? Why does it say Emma? That's weird. It says Emma. That has nothing to do with Emma, apparently. These are rather shattered during the events during my plan. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife. Contradiction. What's the contradiction? Broke off the tip of the Dark's knife, planted inside the moon, and moved the body. I feel like it's either this or this. Or rather, it's either this or that. Pieces of jar that shattered during the events that my plan. The plan to convict Dark, right? Let's move the body. Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during the struggle. Is there a contradiction? Head hurts. Emma. Has nothing to do with Emma. Threatened my plan. I feel like what I need to... Okay, this might be wrong though, I'm not sure. I feel like the whole idea that she fabricated everything and rearranged the crime scene makes no sense if there's Emma written in blood. That doesn't make any sense. Why would she do that in the first place, right? I don't know, maybe I'm jumping the gun again. What is this autopsy report? Died from London, weapon found was missing a tip. Okay, single stab, missing tip. Events threatened my plan. The plan was you want to expedite the whole process. Oh, okay, I want to see it again. I keep missing what exactly what you mean by that. Why did you move? Like, there was a piece of jar that broke. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. When you first found the body, or when you first found the bodies, yeah, the jar was already broken. Broken during their struggle. I still don't understand why she moved the body, though. Why did you move the body? In that case, it makes it doesn't make sense to me, though. Why did you move the body anyway? Expedite the fact that Dark committed the crime? Well, I'm thinking she moved the body because it was to show that Dark committed the crime. And at the time... Oh, my head hurts. At the time, I'm looking at this photo. Because this armor is right here, right? What we saw before when we were at his office, the armor was on the other side. It was at Gaunt's desk, apparently. Or was it? I can't remember now. No, I think I remember now. Okay, this is like Gaunt's side, right? This is on the right side, so I was thinking like maybe the armor was on Lana's side? That makes no sense. This was on the right side, right? The jar was here as well. So... threaten my plan? Threaten your plan? Wait, why do you move the body? And so as earlier, sure I felt it would move to move the body. But the guy was already broken, shattered to pieces. Clear right away. Supposedly, he fell dead during the struggle. Oh, my head hurts. Because the jar wouldn't have threatened her plan because the jar was already I don't get it. Because I'm trying to get these facts straight, but I don't remember all the facts at this point. Because why did they threaten her plan? Why did she move the body? Supposedly. Or why is she saying she moved the body? Because she rearranged the content. Try the jar in that sentence? That was my first guess. Because again, there's Emma written on it. Why is that? And the picture shows... let's see. It's either the picture or the jar itself. Because the jar itself, as pictured here, is, I believe... now the problem is it doesn't say the award ceremony. Where is the jar? It was at... it was near somewhere. Okay, I don't know. Too much evidence. I'm gonna keep pressing it because I don't know. Because like they're not saying where exactly the bodies were. Shattered to pieces. Okay, what happened right away? I mean, Emma's here saying like, you know, there's more to this than that. I'm gonna press this again. Help your sister, no. It's the name of her life. That's not the point, traumatized. Rearrange the crime scene. The broken prosecutor wore the knife was stuck in the victim's body. Okay? And this is what we found out. He died from an accident. But she's denying that. Carrying out with knife. She's lying about that now. Lying, you know, putting more lies on top of her lies. And then move the body. Why did you move the body? Then you move the body. Why would you do that? It was by Chief Gaunt's desk. Okay. It was by Chief Gaunt's desk. Okay. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? Simple. She moved it because of the jar. The jar was on the ground. It threatened her plan to convict Dark, supposedly. Okay, what I'm getting confused by is like, why is it threatening her plan? These are the jars that tried during the events to threaten my plan. Ah, my head hurts. I'm probably gonna get a few penalties because I'm trying trying to think, like, what exactly am I supposed to present evidence on? Because there's a lot of things weird with the jar. Because if she saw the jar on the ground shattered in pieces, why is Emma's like name on it in the first place? There's a ton of reasons wrong with that. The fact that, for one, it was shattered on the floor. There couldn't have been a message there, right? Because you only see the message after putting the jar back together, you know. But if it was like a mess on the floor, then there's no way you could have written the message, you know, if you put it back to where it was. And also the fact that it's Emma's name on there, that, like, you know, that goes against what she's trying to do in the first place. Anyway, let's see. Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered. If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must have not yet been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on the shattered jar. Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed regarding this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Okay. What did she see? I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? It wasn't Chief Prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have, but it was dark, right? So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? It seems you do my makeup yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone had happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. Wipe away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. Fragments were large, so I was sure I got them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. But now I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency lumina wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. So sorry, Lana, I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain in the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. There is? Man, maybe you should do my job, Emma, because I don't know. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this right. She's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. Can you tell me? There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Wow. Now time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. So I'm sure I got them all. I'm sure you got them all. Did you though? Did you get them all? Don't think you did. Because there was a fragment that was found and gone safe, right? The piece the chief has is different though. That is odd. Danganronpa is so stupidly easy compared to Ace Attorney? Maybe. There's a lot more minigames in Danganronpa. But otherwise, yeah, I guess I could agree to that. Though, there definitely, I remember 2 times in Danganronpa, at least the second game, I got like really stuck on. But I guess, yeah, I get stuck on Danganronpa a lot less than Phoenix Wright, I feel like. But again, it's like Phoenix Wright, you gotta do more of this, right? More of like sussing out what exactly you need to present and stuff. Sure you got them all. Because I feel like that's a contradiction, only because... I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like... what I'm trying to say is that she didn't get everything, because there was one final fragment found in Chief Gaunt's safe. So that may be a contradiction right there. Probably. Let's see. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gaunt's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was... still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night of Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gaunt got there before you. But could the defendant have simply missed the piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Huh, can you believe it? I don't know about that. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gaunt. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! The judge is breaking down. And normally, the witness usually we point out their lies and they break down, but then the judge is breaking down. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gunn arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gunn do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed that her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gunn's aid. Lending her his aid, Gunn helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet. Ow! I get bite so hard, blood came out. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. I don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. I do? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gunn's trap? Nani? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Ooh, and an actual truth from her. Alright, the witness may testify once more, for the final time. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought, she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gunn help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. You did? I mean, there's this. You gave me this, I don't know. Is it in the book? What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember saving a picture like that. Alana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Well, Lana, she said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Well, let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Oh yeah, right here, right? Where is it? Yeah. What? Little detective. Little baby chick detective. P.O. P.O. Copyright P.O. That's right there. Hey, there is a picture here. Dark Souls player character backstabbed him. Oh no. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had arranged everything. Hey? Mr. Wright. That piece cut out from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gaunt's safe? The Dark Souls of detective games. Well, yeah, what's this? We found a piece of cloth. I guess, yeah, that's where it came from. His little, like, vest. Apparently that handprint belongs to Emma. Fingerprints on it. But whatever fingerprints those are, must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Alright. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall impaled. Weren't you getting lunch? Come now, Aji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I ever seen. Chief Gaunt? What, now you want to make me out as a bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck. So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? I mean, we do, but if I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I or shouldn't I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. Nah, I mean... The thing is, if we show it now, it's just gonna prove that Emma killed him. Right? Supposedly. But that leaves a lot of unanswered questions, like, who cut out this piece of letter anyway in the first place? You know, why do we have to, like, why did the Demon God blackmail, you know, Lana in the first place? Why did he do all this in the first place? So, if we show it now... How's the evidence law? What is the evidence law? I feel like this is important. Shall be shown by the police department. Unregistered evidence present must be relevant to the case on the trial. Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna like throw it in the trash. Don't worry about the evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief gone? Yeah, I'm not gonna play his game. I mean, he's so obviously trying to bait me, so... You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Smug, Wright. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gaunt? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Know anything odd about this chest area? It looks like a part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why? For instance, of course, or for insurance rather. I don't know why I read that as instance. Insurance, okay. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I was about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go ahead and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean the piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gaunt, that you are hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Sorry, Gaunt, I lost it. You know, I just, threw it in the trash there. Don't worry about it. I burned it. Don't worry. Dropped it yesterday on the yacht trip or something, yeah. Drop it in the ocean. Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. As long as I don't mess up here? Okay, what do I show? Do I show it now? Do I show it now? Do I show it now? Because I feel like the first time you're not supposed to show it. Now he admits that, you know, he's tampering with this in the first place, so maybe we can say that it's not conclusive evidence anymore. Or something, I don't know. I'm looking at the evidence, I don't think it applies though. I mean, Phoenix is pretty confident right now. Maybe we should show it? Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. I don't know, maybe, then again, maybe I'm wrong. Ah! You know, it'd be funny if I get game over. I don't know, Phoenix was really confident, like, this is it, this is now I will do the thing. And I'm like, Nani? It's either this, or is it this? It's funny, it's like, you know, Phoenix was like, oh, I shouldn't show this evidence yet, and now I will show it. And whoops, I get a game over because Emma Sky's Prince. But he tampered with it, right? So, I mean, we know that now. Okay, let's see. If I get a game over, I don't know, get an interesting game over maybe? Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at last, you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requested that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. You're as slow on the uptick as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Wow, all according to Keikaku. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... well, I mean, we can't lie, it's Emma Sky, so... there's no one else we can show, so... Emma Sky? What? They're mine? Sorry, Emma. But why? Why did you tell me? You really are something, Raizo. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? Nani? I said this trial isn't over yet. But afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy! What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you gonna tell us how it feels? how it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Well, before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief God, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gaunt, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. I actually have no idea. What am I supposed to prove? Okay, well, why is this a contradiction? We know this... Okay, handprint. Someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was must have had a really oily hand, I guess. Maybe about scientifically. More likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over the hand. Happens when I always slip on the floors at school after they're waxed. Okay. I don't know if that's relevant. I don't think that's relevant. What proves that this evidence is a contradiction? We couldn't show it before because we had to show that Damon got, like, cut it out, right? He was the first scene of the crime and he found it. He found it on this guy and then he cut it out. Lana's picture was before he came in. He came in, cut it out. Well, wait a minute. Why is there blood? Why is there... what? Why is there blood on this part? Even though he cut it out, there should be blood on it, right? Why is there blood on his shirt before... or... I'm trying to get the timeline here. Like, why is it... Why is there blood on his shirt, basically? Like, if it was there blood on his vest before he cut it out, then there would be blood on the vest, not on the shirt. So that makes no sense. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs are no doubt punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ugh. Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. Yeah, hype music. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gaunt, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Though, through the very act of creating insurance, You proved that you were the actual murderer. No. It's thunderbolted by Pikachu. Well, it's finally all over. Oh, okay, he doesn't look so confident anymore. Oh, that was close, right though. You almost had me. Sorry, old buddy, old pal, but you had to do better than that. I refute all your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth, it's illegal evidence. Nani? Order. What nonsense is this? But legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wright? You do have some evidence, don't you? Okay, yeah, okay, that's what he said before. I don't have any evidence I can present yet, is what Phoenix said. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, the piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. I'm not a good no. Did you actually think you best me in court? It looks like the last laugh on you, son. He's desperate. Very, very desperate. I'm afraid Mr. Gaunt's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to review my plan has finally arrived. It really was all according to Keikaku. Miss Wright, do you admit it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I mean, no. No. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Haha! So the evidence is illegal. Clap clap. No, it isn't, Mr. Gaunt. Huh? What? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Well, I mean, there's only one thing pertaining to evidence, and it's evidence law. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. I mean, obviously, we're not going to get approval from him right now. But rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. It wasn't relevant when he asked, now it is. Maybe. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at the picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No! He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gaunt. Nyeh. Clench fists. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Now let me verify once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of victim's chest. Or, I keep saying chest, vest, not chest. You didn't cut out the entire chest, that would be weird. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before the prosecutor marshal in the final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who could that be. Damon Gaunt, the killer was you. That was a lot of clapping. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. Oh, the old cowboy. That good-for-nothing scum. Howdy, partner. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've gotta help me. Yeehaw! Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stood Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left and unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm gonna hand all this over to Marshall." Oh, I guess it was spur of the moment. Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, the accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have led to only more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. Yeah, I guess we didn't really prove that it belonged to him, but I guess now we know. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. I mean, yeah, Edge was pretty rich. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she has much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from the Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, You left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. Pretty sloppy. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Willie. Why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, and believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gaunt. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Aji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. Clap, clap, clap. He loves clapping. He's clapping his way all the way to like a prison cell. Anyway, there are two things I want you to understand. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Grant, I keep saying Grant, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had gone to help me forge evidence, up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky, I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. Yeah, I guess technically she's still, helped forge evidence, and she was an accomplice to murder, so she'll probably still go to jail. Unfortunately. But at least her charges aren't as, heavy as actual murder, I guess. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Smile. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing, baka. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you, and yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Smile, not to smile. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor. You're innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's weird. Well, it's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. The truth sets us free. Amazing. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. Hooray! I wonder if God is clapping as well. Anyway, that is all. This court is adjourned. Alright, we did it. Amazing. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. A flashback from like 5 seconds ago. Amazing. Smile, smile, double smile. You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me. She didn't smile to Emma. I hope not interrupting anything, pals. You keep doing this. You keep doing this, Gumshoe. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Yep. Chotomate, Detective Gumshoe. What is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around on duty. Top it up, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, line up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? No. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? Oh, that's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. I'd like to see someone, rather. Lana. Now, should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Again, Gumshoe's not very good at his job. But hey, he's a good person. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked God to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. Baka mitai. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma! Are you gonna hug? Hug! Huggu. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing we can find the way back to our rightful path. It is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. Isn't that cliche? I don't know, does Phoenix always do this? He gives like a big old, a lesson of a story, or more, what do you call it actually? Aesop? Something like that. Like a philosophical thing he always says at the end to make us feel good. Anyway, at least that's what I felt. watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Will we? I think we never see you ever again in the other games. I'm pretty sure. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Or maybe, well, maybe she does appear actually in spin-off. Anyway, Edgeworth, stop hiding. Come over here. Where was Edgeworth hiding? Under that sofa? Yeah, where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. See ya. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone might say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gaunt was right. You despise criminals! I can feel it! Oh ho! Ha ha ha! Clap clap clap! And yeah, believe it, you're just one man, you know? I mean, I guess, yeah, one person taking down all crime ever. That's pretty difficult, I'd imagine. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pose something like Chief Gaunt did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gaunt and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to the day's trial. You weren't all alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. You don't get paid though. You know, if Mr. Wright wins, you actually don't get paid. So I mean, unless I don't know. Actually, I don't know how prosecutor salaries work. Maybe they do get paid. They just don't get paid as much. I don't know. Anyway, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah, I guess. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Wait, what? I need to show some evidence? What do I need to prove? What? I wasn't... What? This? Something that neither Edward nor I would have been able to find out on our own. Because that's the one thing I think of. This thing, right? This is what he showed us. When he tried to like he did us a favor, he showed his screwdriver. He didn't know what it meant at the time, and we wouldn't have known what it was unless he showed it to us in the first place. He could have just thrown it in the trash, but this is the reason we've got like so far in the first place. Maybe? This is my guess. If I get it wrong, I don't get a second chance. Damn it! Darn it, I got it wrong. Seems you still have a lot to learn as well. I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. Yeah, and then it tends to be like, you show a piece of evidence here, but then at the end of a case, if you are given a choice, but if you get it wrong, then you don't get a second chance. So, oh well. Time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth. If you'll excuse me, I wonder what it was, though. Like, something that they couldn't have figured out unless both... Oh wait, it's this one. Whoops, okay, it's this one. Evidences! Ah, it was this! It was the evidence list. I was thinking, like, evidence that both Phoenix and Edgeworth could have, like, you know, have been handling. It was, I mean, it was a screwdriver, but also the evidence list. I guess it's more symbolic, I guess, in the evidence list because you put it two together. If you'll excuse me, because you didn't give the right evidence, I'm just gonna go now. See ya. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth. Well, I'll be waiting for you in court. Very well. I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit you soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Oh, scientific investigation, also the same, you know, baby chick mascot. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And yeah, we see Emma later on in Apollo Justice. I believe so, anyway. Again, but I don't know if we see Lana. I think maybe she's mentioned? I'm not sure. Anyway. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Because they hugged it out. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I start on a new journey on my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Where am I going? Where is Phoenix going? Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What? Wait, what was it, Detective? I was gonna go on like a spiritual journey and whatnot until the next sequel? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the Chief Prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, Detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill. What? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Eh? Oh, thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that'd be a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Objection! I need to pay off this month's rent. Damn it. But there you go. I guess I get more credits, I guess. It's technically, again, an extra case. Oh, I guess, yeah. A friend of mine here to take care of Emma. Study under a top corner. Oh. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Maybe you will. I guess the all credits again, because again, we get the credits after being the first game. Very similar way, we see little like post scenes, I guess, you know, what the characters are up to. Thanks, I thought I was gone for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation at the chief's office. Pal, if we penalize you anymore, it'll be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. I guess not. And the credits are like, yeah, there's like fingerprinting. I guess we don't really. I guess we're not gonna see this mechanic anymore in the actual trilogy, because Justice for All and Trials and Tribulations were made before the DS, right? Originally, so they're not gonna have these mechanics. Oh, Meekins. My new mission is to guard the MA entrance, take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted as security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. Oh. I'll show them though, someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir! Then I can be just like the Dick Gumshoe! Hooray. and the controller vibrated. Again, there's like vibration functionality in the Trilogy, I guess PC version. And also, I guess I mentioned before in the beginning that it was available on Switch and PC, but I think I've learned since then that it's also, you know, available on the other consoles. Basically available like in all the consoles, basically. It's you can get it anywhere, really, which is good. Okay, Blue Badger has died. Rip. Well. True tragedy is Blue Badger, and now we're gonna have to investigate who killed Blue Badger. Well, it's probably just the battery running out. Oh hey, cowboy! What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with steak lunch partner? Miss Star Magic sneakers into me. She's in on the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina a backwards smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Yeah, he's in jail. I mean, yeah, he did like rob stuff. He stole stuff, basically. Yeah, and also breach of trust because of his job, whatever. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the term out theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Don't play the Phoenix Wright games backwards, I guess. That would miss the point. It's all about, you know, seeming like you're about to be defeated, but then you turn it around. Turn it around town. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after that trial. Let's see, what was his name again? You already forget? Mr. Left? Anyway, he says he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Duh. Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Okay. Okay. No lewds of Angel Star? Well, I mean... There's gotta be some lewds. I think, well... A little trick I learned is that it's better to search for the Japanese name rather than the actual localized English name? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, here's Maya. Ah, nothing soothes the soul like a fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Come on. Well, see you around, Nick. Yeah, we don't really see you in this case, I guess. This whole time. Oh, you already tried? Well, then I don't know. Kobayashi. Isn't there a second season of Dragon Maid? I guess it's announced, not out yet. Anyway. That just reminds me of Kobayashi. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, bellboy. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. Oh, what's going on? I guess, yeah, he's resigned. He's on leave. On vacation, I guess. Nothing else to say. I mean, I'm just waiting for the scenes. Oh, there's Emma. Oh, thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Well, thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Oh, okay. Whoop. Weep. Bio. What's inside? It's a photo. Huh. It's an old photo for Lana and Emma. I guess, yeah, wasn't that the photo at the chief of police's room, you know, office or whatever? There was like a picture they mentioned of Lana and Emma. There you go. In their younger years. Isn't that right? Rise from the ashes is complete. And I guess those are all the cases for the first game in this trilogy. Next time, we're going to play Justice for All, which I hear is, I don't know, I hear people say like it tends to be the weakest, you know, game in the trilogy, but I mean, it's still Phoenix Wright. I assume it's still pretty good. I think it's the game that people complain about though, you know, where I guess people get stuck a lot in that one. We'll see if I get more stuck, or like for that one, because I definitely got stuck a few times, especially for this case. But I don't know if I'll get stuck on that one as well. Justice for All. We'll see, I guess. Actually, how would you like? I guess I have to press new game. You know, I'm tempered. I'm tempted to just go back here and try to get that evidence, that little bit of dialogue I can get from Edgeworth, because I presented the wrong evidence that time. And alright, back at this spot, I guess. Because the last time I tried to do this part, you know, at the very end of a case, sometimes you get the opportunity to present something to a certain character, so you get an extra piece of dialogue with them. It's not that important, but I wanted to find out what Edgeworth would say here. Which one was it? Like a piece of evidence that we couldn't find on our own. It was this one, right? Like we have two pieces of this, you know, we had one piece, he had the other piece, right? That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Okay, I think, yeah. I guess he doesn't say anything. I guess he just realized it. He realizes that we work together in this case, and that's it, really. Okay, so again, it's not that important, but I just wanted to be, you know, a little bit thorough, because I like giving the correct answer at the end of a case. You know, I didn't know you could like, by the way, I didn't know you could like save, you know, during dialogue and everything. I think in the original you could like save and quit, but like I guess in the HD trilogy or whatever, you can just simply save whenever you want, which I guess I didn't really take advantage of. But anyway, that'll be it, I guess. See ya. Until the next case, I guess, right?